So we're just going to walk through how you can use a PowerPoint to create a infographic or a poster. So I've just opened a blank PowerPoint. I'm going to go ahead and delete these text boxes. I'm just clicking on where the little lined arrow is, right there, or the little lines. Delete, click on them, delete. Now I'm going to set my slide size first. So under Design, Slide Size, Custom. I'm going to make it, let's do an 11 by 17. So it's going to be 17 inches, oopsies, let's do 11 inches high and 17 inches tall. So it'll be like in a portrait. And it doesn't matter which one of these we pick because we're not cutting off any data. We have nothing on here yet. Okay, so here is my piece of paper basically. And 11 by 17 you could get printed at duplicating. And now I'm going to format the background. So if I have a picture, I can set it as a picture. And so I'm just going to go into my files. And so here I could set a picture background and I would just say apply and out of there. The other option I could do is I'm just going to go back into like solid fill. You can just do a color if you wanted it to be a certain color. And so here's all your different colors. Or you have your options of your themes, of course, up here. So I'm just going to, here's a theme, for example. I could do that one. Okay, and I'm just going to go back into automatic for that. So there's how you can get your background formatted, or you can just start with a white background and go from there. Now everything we do is pretty much under the Insert tab here. So Insert Table, you can insert a table, something that would look like that. So if you had some information you wanted to put on that, and you would just type in each little box. I'm just going to zoom in. So use these little zoom in, zoom outs here. So here's where I could actually type in information. This drop down under table styles is where I could format what that's going to look like. Okay. Next, I'm going to insert and pictures. So online pictures, or if it's pictures you've downloaded, make sure that you go ahead and you get all the referencing information as per your instructor's APA or MLA. And so see how the picture's gone in the center? I'm just going to zoom out. There's my picture. And so I have a picture I can do. I can resize it. Here is my sizing here as well. There's a few other things where you can do some artistic effects if you need it to be in black and white or something like that. You can also remove background directly from, oops, if you do something you don't want to, just say reset picture. It resets it, you put it in. You can also do a remove background. This is how you can look like you were in Euro Disney all summer. So remove background, and it takes its best guess, but you can also say, oh, here, mark some other areas to remove. Like I'm just clicking and holding and dragging, and I want to remove that and that. Okay, that's good. If you want areas to keep, if you say, oh no, actually I do want this, maybe I want all of this down here. Okay, and then you just say keep changes, and that's how you can remove the background on something. You can also put here some picture styles. You can put some frames around it, stuff like that. So inserts, and then online pictures, just searches online for it. We're also going to do shapes, so maybe you want to put a star shape or an arrow shape. Here's a nice little arrow shape. I just draw the arrow, and under my shape styles here I can choose what I want that to look like. Here's some different options. What color scheme, and because I've picked a theme, it'll keep me in a color scheme so nothing goes too far right, doesn't look too tacky. I can right click on my shape and I can put in text if I want. I say edit text, and I can say start here. If I want to edit what that text looks like, I'm just going to go in there and highlight that text. I can just go back under my home tab. I can make it bold. I can change its colors, however you want to do that. Okay, so here's my text in my shape, and then here is my picture. Now, the way PowerPoint builds is it builds in layers. So automatically, because my picture was here first, it goes behind my shape. If I wanted to change that and I want to put my picture in front, I can just click my picture, right click on it, and say bring to front. It brings it forward. If I want my shape in front, right click on it, bring to front. Okay, so it just builds in layers. So that's how you can have things overlap. Next, so we've done table, pictures, shapes. SmartArt. So SmartArt is actually brilliant for building any kind of an infographic. By all means, take a look around, see what kind of options there are. Like here's a horizontal picture list. This actually puts pictures across there. This puts little mini pictures across. It helps you to put the pictures in. Nice lists that go down. Let's say I'm building a cycle. So here's all my options for cycles. I'm just going to click on the basic cycle. Okay. I'm going to just move, oh, you know what? I'm going to move my picture down and get it out of the way. And I'll move my SmartArt up. Come on. There we go. Picture down. And you're down there too. Okay. So here we're working in our SmartArt. And so to use my SmartArt, it's this little white arrow here. Here's where I put my text in. So I'm going to say step 1. Step 2, and so fill in whatever amount of text you want. If step 2 had bullets underneath it, when I'm in my SmartArt, here's my SmartArt tools up here. All right, and so under my step 2, I can say add bullet, and I can do, you know, 2A, etc., 2B. Okay, so you can actually put information in each of those. If I have more than 5, so this was 5, if I needed 6, I just go to the end of that last one and hit enter, and it makes another one for me. If I didn't even need 5, maybe I only needed 4, I can just backspace, and it does the correct amount. All right, so when I'm done with editing in there, I can just use this to open and close that area. To get in these SmartArt tools, if I click somewhere else, my menu goes away from my SmartArt. I have to click on my SmartArt, then I get my SmartArt menu. Some options across here, we have some SmartArt styles. We can change colors, and it will try and keep you in that same color scheme, right? And then let's say I have this 4 steps, and I thought, you know what, actually this doesn't quite match what I wanted to do. In my layouts, I can actually switch to a different layout now. So here's some of my different options. It previews them for me. Some will be a little more restrictive. For example, this gears only has 3. That's all it can do. And you can see with the 2A, 2B, it jumps out to the side there. Let's say because I'm doing something really tall, I'm going to use the circle arrow process. And I'm just going to make this bigger. And I'm going to zoom out so I can see. Okay, so here is where I can do my circle arrow process. So that's my SmartArt. Okay, so next and last, I'm going to insert a text box. So text box, I can just click where I want to type, and I'm just going to say, maybe this is where my title is going to go. Now you notice it looks real small when I can zoom in here, take a look at that. I can edit this just like any other. So under my home tab, any other font, I can just make it bigger. I can make it change the color. But also under these drawing tools, when you get these extra menus, these contextual menus, that's important. That's where I can get into my drawing tools now. And I can use my drop down, and I have my same shape styles, my same colors as I had before. Another option here is I have word art styles. And so I can use one of that, something like that. So that's where you can do for all of your pieces of text, just put them in text boxes, and you can just pick them up and move them. Remember how we already showed how things appear in layers. So you can bring things to front, send them to back by right-clicking on them. Say, bring to front, send to back. And now, lastly, charts. Let's go ahead and put a chart in. So have an idea what kind of information you're going to convey and what kind of chart might work for you. I'm just going to do a pie chart, for example, here. Okay. It's going to just drop it right in the middle because that's what it does. I'm just going to move this over a little bit so we can see a little better. And I'm going to zoom in and I'm just going to move this chart out of the way a little bit so you can see it a little better. We'll move it down into this area down here. And we'll zoom in on it. Okay, so here's my chart. And by default, it's a sales chart. If you don't want to say sales there, you want it to say population. Just typing in population, hit enter. Oop. I have to scroll back down for my chart. Change it to population. Also by default, it has these 4, but it doesn't have to be the 4. See this little blue? If I just take that and drag it down, it can make it into 5. So here I could put 3.6, etc. It's jumping for me. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then my 5th one I haven't named it yet. And so we'll just call that 5th, and I hit enter. and then there's my 5th. So that's how you can enter your information into there. If I change my mind, say actually I only need the top 3, I grab that little arrow guy again right there in the corner. Come on. There he is. And I just move it up to only show the top 3. And when I scroll down, only those 3 are showing. So that's how you can get your data in there. It's going to close out of there. So in my chart, I also end up here with my chart tools, my design. I can change colors, so change it to be different color sets. My quick layout is really handy. So let's say I just want the names and percentages in each. I can do it that way. This puts my legend at the top. So try the quick layout, see if there's something there that works for you. Also your chart style or your chart designs up here. Maybe I would like that one. My styles. So there's my different chart styles, or if I want it just basic, I can resize. And if I change my mind and say actually I do need more information or I spelled something wrong, go in here to your edit data. There's where you can actually go in and edit data and pull that original information up again and say no, actually I want to go all the way down to 1, 2, 3, 4. If the font sizes are too big or too small, just under your Home tab, just like any other font, okay? You can change the colors in here with it if you want it to be black, just like any other piece of font. So here we've done, I'm just going to zoom out. We have tables, and see my table tools when I click on it. We have a text box. We have Smart Art. We have a chart. We have a shape with some text in it. And we have an online or a picture that we've inserted, and we actually remove the background on that. So there is some different tools that you can use within PowerPoint, and by all means do draw it out on paper or have an idea. Make sure you know what you want to convey before you start on PowerPoint, but then with PowerPoint just insert the things, drag and drop them. You can overlap them. Remember that, right click, send forward, send to back, and you can design the whole thing right in PowerPoint.